Hello. I'm usually a lot more prepared than this. Hold on, I'm just getting a couple things put out there. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was saying I'm not used to switching midstream, so like my setup wasn't ready and I was running late for when I said I would be back and all of that. So I was just trying to get things done and didn't have my setup screen ready. So I got it changed on the like YouTube stream announcement, but my standby screen on OBS is not changed over for the new thumbnail, and I was like, oh crap, still got a Dark Souls one sitting up there. So probably would have been better than what I just did, which was like totally goof off there and forget to unmute the mic and everything. So hi Rhea, welcome back. Sorta. We just did something quick and dirty there for we went and got some McDonald's. That's all we did. And it was, I forget, we have these weird lunch rushes around here, like, and dinner rushes. Like, the time is weird. It's never when you think it's going to be. So, like, 9 o'clock at night, every fast food place is packed around here. It's insane. So, we actually had to, that's why I'm running late, is because we were waited, like, probably 20 minutes to get our food. And they actually didn't get my cheeseburger ordered. So, I looked at the like receipt about the time we were gonna get our food, and I was like, they don't even have mine on here. So somehow he got it deleted off the order, and I didn't even. So Jonathan gave me part of his food instead of having to wait longer. Yeah, we do. We have weird food rushes around here. They're oddly timed. So yeah, usually like 9:30 at night, you see these like crazy food rushes, and at all the, like I said, all the fast food places are packed. I was just giving it a minute to let, I usually let people come in anyway and like put in the notifications in Discord and stuff, but there's a seizure warning with this game, so when I was going to let hopefully people show up that were going to show up. So, let me grab my glasses actually. Because if I'm going to have a seizure, I want to see it coming. Nah, I just figure. It's getting late, getting dark, getting tired. Okay, I have the lamp on. Do we want it on, off? Is it going to matter, you think? Also, I was just explaining, like, with my mic muted, that, yeah, the dead of night. Like, probably on the weekends, right? When everybody's, like, trying to get, like, I'm drunk food. It's always, like, everybody craves McDonald's when they're drunk. I know I did. My cousin did. That's how I got arrested. She had me bring her McDonald's when I was leaving the bar, and so I turned left instead of going right. So then I made a turn into the right lane going left, like, you know, every normal person does. Like, you don't really change lanes properly. You turn left and you just kind of go into the lane you need to be in. So then at that point, the cops followed me for about 0.6 miles. And then, or about a half a mile or so, with their lights off, and then pulled me over before I could get to the McDonald's, because they were like, oh, I see where you're going. So, field sobriety tested me and give me the little blow test and all of that, and then, yeah, went to jail. That was 8 years ago. Yeah, cops. I liked cops up until then, because my dad's retired police, but like I met a lot of cops I didn't like that night. They judge you. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and probably push forward. So we're not waiting too long. I'm sure you've got to be up at an ungodly hour. So, and it's an hour later for you than it is for me, so we'll get cracking, but I am going to go ahead and read this out loud just to be safe. It is a warning to read before playing. A very small percentage of individuals may experience epileptic seizures when exposed to certain light patterns or flashing lights, exposure to certain patterns or backgrounds on a computer screen, or while playing video games may induce an epileptic seizure in these individuals. Certain conditions may induce previously undetected epileptic symptoms, even in persons who have no history of prior seizures or epilepsy. If you or anyone in your family have an epileptic condition, consult your physician prior to playing or watching, please. If you experience any of the following symptoms while playing a video or computer game: dizziness, altered vision, eye or muscle twitches, loss of awareness, disorientation, any involuntary movement or convulsions, immediately discontinue use and consult your physician before resuming play. I don't know if I tend to take these seriously because I do know that they trigger them. I've not had one trigger, but I was diagnosed as a child with epilepsy. They cleared me of it. But I had to know all about this stuff, and of course they did the flashy strobe light in my face, so I never actually had one outwardly. They just always detected it in the brainwave patterns. But my logic, even to this day, says if you keep a 9-10-year-old up for 24 plus hours and then put a strobe light like about 1/4 of an inch from their face in a otherwise pitch black room, their brain's gonna freak out a little bit. But it is something that is a thing. So please, if you're not sure, please don't watch or play the game until you can be sure. So yeah, let's move forward. Is the volumes okay? I've got everything on, right? Yeah, okay. This is all registering, so let me know if you need anything changed there, Rhea. 2 a.m. tomorrow is your wake up? Yeah, you were saying that. I thought you weren't going to do that for too long, or I thought you were just covering for somebody and that's why you were getting up at 2 a.m. It's like an old 80s movie. Spectrovision. Let's see how this turns out. Ubisoft and Spectrovision collab. Alright. Here we go. That does not sound like an effective testing procedure. Yeah, they want to see if like the flashing, they basically are trying to get testing you for it by trying to trigger it with any of the normal triggers of that. Like, yeah, you get all the goop in your hair and they stick all the little electrodes to your head and your heart. So, we'll bring it up just a little bit because I don't know how YouTube is. So we'll try it right about there. It's been bouncing all over. It's a conspiracy. They're just timing it for you, Rhea, so that you end up having to like just keep coming in at 2 a.m. That's a terrible time. Like, especially if you're used to, like, of course, going in at more of a first shift hours or something like that. Brain Data Analysis Research Division.
Hello. My name is Raymond Hayes. I'm the director of the Brain Data Analysis Research Division here at the university. We're engaged in some very exciting work that we are thrilled to share with you today. You're very lucky to be here. We have been able to create a digital environment that's based on the brain data of a single subject. We'll call him Walter, let's say. Now, this experience will work best if I tell you as little about Walter ahead of time as possible, but I will tell you that he has been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, this is the incredible part. When you put on your headset, you will find yourself in a recreation of Walter's memory of this traumatic event. Now, I should say that this technology is very new and imperfect at this stage. Some of the data may be incomplete. Some may even be corrupted. What you are experiencing,
and my understanding is this was like originally developed for VR, but they've got it to where
watching a movie. So no matter how real it may seem,
like you can play with or without. So it started up, so I'm assuming we're good.
We're completely safe. In a couple of years, this technology is going to be perfected.
So if for some reason like it bugs out because we have to be on VR, we'll just have to call it. Maybe I can have Jonathan as a spotter or something. We can try it with me in the VR headset.
And that is incredibly special. So thank you.
Okay, so it's supposed to be like they've recreated like the brain data.
Is that you?
June 1993. Okay. Looking around. Hallway. Oh.
You're not supposed to be here.
Oh, don't turn off the lights. June 2002. What the crap? I can see where this would work really well in the VR though. So, should we just start picking rooms here to go into? Someone that you used to know? Okay, we got Ted Walter, tetracyclic, 270 milligram antidepressants. Okay, so we can kind of roll objects around there, put it down. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. We can. Yeah. Is that more antidepressants? Antipsychotic. Scott Walter. So Ted and Scott. Ted's depressed. Scott's psychotic. Is that another pill bottle we can check? There's some flies hanging around. We need to do the dishes maybe. Ted, antidepressants, different kind. Can we open the fridge? No? Aha. Expiration date 3/3/2002. Little bit old. This is the first time I'm playing something other than Dark Souls or Bloodborne for a live stream, so this is going to be different. Oh. Basement key. Like, can we keep anything we pick up? Like. Oh, okay. Okay, I press X again, we can hold on to it. Okay.
You gave everything to the fucking army, and we got nothing. We were nothing to you. Nothing but a pair of fucking...
Well, let's go explore some other areas of the house. Can I put this back down, or like, can I still check that? Oh my god.
Is that you?
Oh.
I'm sorry, Daddy. Can I come out now?
What did I do?
Why don't you play with me, Daddy? What did I do wrong? I'm sorry.
Sports magazine. I guess we're just gonna hang on to this key. Okay, well, I'm uncomfortable with TV static after watching enough horror movies. I can... Football. There's a missing picture frame. Okay, so we've got to find...
Are you even there?
Whoa. Self-help book. How to surrender. Perfection doesn't exist. The art of not caring. Living a good life. Okay. Having a key for the basement is a bit creepy. Yeah, it looked like the basement was open there, so I wonder if I came back here now and that, like, I have to unlock the basement and that kid's locked in there now or something. But we're just gonna make him wait, because, okay, it's not as dirty in 1993. Okay, hold on. There we go. Appointment reminder. Okay. Psychiatrist. Scott's blocks. Okay, so that's Scott. That was the one that's psychotic. Ted was depressed. Empty beer can. We like our booze, alright. Nothing in there apparently. Oh, there's There's a cabinet that can open. Ooh, a car. I wonder if I like can only hold one thing at a time though, maybe? Anyway? Aha! Should, like, can I go back to 2002? It looks like it's still over there, like, if we wanted to. What's this? Don't forget to turn off the light. Huh. I don't know, should we just go ahead and go to the basement? Like, I don't know how much is, like, missable with this, like... Basements are creepy. Okay. Everything good for you, Rhea? Did you want, like, my lamp is on. Is that gonna be a mood killer? They really kind of set a tone here already. Oh, hey, the picture. Okay, anything else we can kind of look at? There's a hat here. It's Ted's cap. Okay. More beer. Yep, empty beer bottle. Antidepressants for Ted. Alright, so let's grab the picture, I guess. Scott and Ted at the fair, 1990. Alright, so we've got that. Ringing phone. Okay, barely noticed the lamp. Ooh. Okay, I've got weird goosebumps from that. I'm just gonna go. Was it here? Yes, it was here. Hanging up the picture. Don't freak out. The bird is freaking out. Ugh.
Daddy, is that you?
I don't want to turn around. Oh, God. Am I supposed to go over here? Yeah. We're gonna...
You're not supposed to.
Can't believe I looked up to him. Some goddamn hero.
Okay.
He couldn't save his own family.
Okay, we're back in 2002.
We're not even a family. We're a bunch of goddamn POWs.
Oh, God.
It's all a lie. I'm living a fucking lie. Are you proud of me now? I'm a killer. Just like you. I was never good enough. Never man enough. I don't want to be.
Okay.
I'll show him.
Just you keep doing you, man. I think that's where we're supposed to go, though. We never did come down here. Oh, God, no.
Looking for my dad? Well,
No.
you're too late. You wanna fight
Let's go back to the guy with the gun. Oh, did they shut me in? No. Don't shut me in.
Mine eyes have seen
Oh,
glory
no.
of the coming of the Lord. He is traveling
Rhea.
where the grapes of wrath are stored.
Oh, my God. What the fuck?
Of his terrible swift march, is marching on.
Okay. Pretty sure that's blood.
Glory, hallelujah.
Everything is floating.
Shing on. I have seen him in the watchfires of cats. They have
What is
built
this?
in him an
What the crap? PTSD checklist civilian version. I don't know what I did. How do I fix this? Am I supposed to tell what's going on? Not really. Yeah, goosebumps. So we came in here. We had like a little video with this guy explaining that when you put on the headset, what you're gonna see is like the recreation of the memories. We'll just call him Walter. We don't want to reveal too much about him before you do this, but he's a PTSD patient. And then we come in and we just kind of like have shadows of people. Like there was a kid and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here." He shuts off the lights and then we go from 93 to 2002. Oh, jeez. And then like, so as we keep kind of flashing back between 1993 and 2002. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something here. Oh my god, the sounds are gonna get me more than the sights. Am I supposed to do anything with this? Am I supposed to know something here? Yeah, I have no idea. I guess over here. Been sitting here 10 minutes trying to figure it out. Yeah, like we're like in the mind of a PTSD patient. The crap? Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused. Like, this is confusing as hell. Am I supposed to, like, kind of keep going forward here? No, don't seem to be. Like, I'm lost. I don't know what it wants me to do. Maybe it spells something? Like, look at it at the right angle? Oh! Like, it's changing as I do that. Oh! Nice call! Nice call, Plan C. I saw that outline over there. Oh. But I didn't think it had something to do with the blocks. Oh, shit.
Get out of my head!
Whoa! You're good at puzzles? Yeah, that's apparently it. I told you, short and sweet, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, thoughts? Yeah, 0 to 100. Like, we saw it building with the guy standing in the room with the gun, the shadow. We didn't go in there. Like, I don't know if things are going to change. Like, if we would have, like, gone in there with the shadow, if we would have gotten something a little bit different, because then I ventured to the basement because I was like, okay, if that's where we're supposed to go, I mean, is there things we can discover in the basement? But then the basement was where we needed to go, and we kept being able to seem to almost freely jump between the two time periods there. Basically, him as a kid and him as an adult. Now, this is prequel to the main game. Yeah, it looks like that's what happened there at the end. And it flashed between him being a kid with an axe and an adult with a gun. Is that what it looked like? All that flashing. But there was Ted and there was Scott were the two names we got. And Ted had antidepressants and Scott had antipsychotics. And then I'm thinking Scott was the little boy, maybe, and Ted the dad. So didn't see anything about a mom necessarily. We had some photos there. Probably could have, maybe, yeah. We don't know whose mind we're in. There's the other thing. We don't necessarily know who's, because he said we're just gonna call him Walter. So we're in somebody's mind, but we don't know necessarily whose. But yeah, there was like the military kind of seeming reference there. Like I said, I don't know if we could glean some more info if we went back through and kind of tried to pick up on some of these clues and look around. I don't know if that's something you guys want to try to do. Because we could probably just get through this again, get in there and like look for more stuff actually. I was bringing up the brightness just to, because I don't know how dark YouTube makes it, so we'll go with something like that. Yeah, I mean, we can jump back in here and see if we can find more clues. That would be something.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll go back through. You can see the beginning.
Brain data analysis
I'll let you see this
division
then.
Here at the university.
We'll let it replay.
We're engaged in some very exciting work that we are thrilled to share with you today. You're very lucky to be here. We have been able to create a digital environment that's based on the brain data of a single subject. We'll call him Walter, let's say. Now, this experience will work best if I tell you as little about Walter ahead of time as possible, but I will tell you that he has been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, this is the incredible part. When you put on your headset, you will find yourself in a recreation of Walter's memory of his traumatic event. Now, I should say that this technology is very new and imperfect at this stage. Some of the data may be incomplete, some may even be corrupted. What you are experiencing is a recorded consciousness. It's not unlike watching a movie, so no matter how real it may seem, it can't hurt you. You are completely safe.
Why do I not believe that, though?
You are completely safe. In a couple
Don't
of
answer
years,
me.
this technology is going to be perfected. It is going to be released in the world. And you, the very few lucky ones that are here today, are going to be able to tell your friends that you were there at the very beginning. And that is incredibly special. So thank you.
Okay, so here's another thought. We have missing or corrupted data, so we're not going to get all the information.
Is that you?
Also, maybe we are not in either one of those guys' head. Maybe we are a sibling or the mother or somebody else who witnessed and was present for this event, essentially. And that's why we're trying, especially if both of those guys end up dead. So maybe we are a witness basically to this event where, like I say, another family member or something. Yeah, Bria, exactly. So let's look around the room a little bit more. All right, so that happens. They send us to June 2002. Let's take a peek around what's going on. Let's go a different route than we did before. See if we find anything a little bit different. Okay, so still a football magazine up on the top here.
Good afternoon. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
Okay, so it seems maybe
These carefully
military
targeted
related a
actions
little
are
bit.
designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations and to attack the military capability of the Taliban regime. We are
Yeah.
joined in this operation by our staunch friend,
So maybe that.
Great Britain. Other close friends, including Canada, Australia, Germany, and France, have pledged forces as the operation
Is it
unfolds.
Hubavox?
More than 40 countries
That's
in
what
the
this
Middle
is.
East, Africa, Europe, and across Asia have granted air transit or landing rights. Many more have shared intelligence. We are supported by the collective will of the world. More than 2 weeks ago, I gave Taliban leaders a series of clear and specific demands. Close terrorist training camps, hand over leaders
I'm
of
pretty
the
sure,
Al-Qaeda network,
like, that's
and return all foreign nationals, including American
just off and on?
citizens,
Yeah.
unjustly. Good afternoon.
so.
On my orders,
I think we pretty much know where that hits, so. I mean, I live here, so.
on my orders,
He keeps turning it back on,
the
though.
United States military has begun strikes
Okay.
against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps
Um,
and military
all the pictures are gone there.
Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
Yeah, so 3rd Armored Division, Iraq, 1991. And I'm assuming our guy is the one in the middle, since you can actually see him. Nothing really written on it. And his hat, that was in the basement. Unless he's got multiple ones sitting around. 2210. So, I mean, it would be easy to jump to the conclusion that, yeah, we're experiencing PTSD of memories of a military person. But if this went down like where they both die, like, or maybe since it's corrupted or missing, you know, data or something, maybe it's like it's just mixing up those memories in a way to where like the PTSD is him and but it's mixing in a bunch of different stuff. So it's hard to tell with the way they've got it. It makes you think. It makes you think of the possibilities. Yeah, let's make sure we check out things like the pictures. Let's get some clues here.
Military action is also designed to clear the way for sustained, comprehensive, and relentless operations to drive them out
Okay.
and bring them to justice. At the same time, the oppressed people.
So anytime we change the lights here. So now we're at 93. But that's just static. So we got our football, bird. Okay. So it's like mom, pop, and kid then. We had our self-help books.
Guess I'm a bad kid.
All right.
I never do anything.
Let's actually go back. Okay. You're not supposed to be here? Yeah, that makes me wonder, like, what are they... Yeah, the shotgun guy is ex-military? Okay. Well, they seem to, like, flash from that kid, like, having... I thought, like, they're at the end having the axe versus having the gun. And it seems like the dad was maybe the ex-military. Yeah, I'm trying to... I guess we should listen to the conversations, too. Let's head to the basement this time. There's a...
You have one new message.
Scotty?
So they're not together anymore, it sounds like. Ball glove. Yeah, so we were looking around and we found like these medicine bottles and stuff. So you've got Ted with antidepressants and Scott with these antipsychotics. Yeah, and with "you're not supposed to be here," I mean, that could hint at a couple of different things. I'm thinking, like, you know, you could either be somebody else other than these, like, but was involved in the incident, like in the sense of being a witness, or they can see that you're there when they're not supposed to be able to, like, as the viewer of these memories.
You're a fucking coward.
Oh shit! Okay. So is that just gonna happen every time we go down there? That didn't end well, no. I don't think we're supposed to be there. I guess that's what's gonna happen if we try to go into the basement. We're gonna need our key. I'm getting a feeling that the kid was a sports star in high school.
Are you even there? You're never there.
Then the dad may have made him join the military like himself and it screwed him up. Then he paid him back. Just my gut feeling. He was saying,
We never do anything.
we never do anything anymore. If this is 93 and he was in the military 91, if he's experiencing like PTSD or having problems or getting depressed or something like that, then that could,
Guess I'm a bad.
the kid, you know, is not, is thinking like, okay, I must be bad. You don't want to be with me.
Why won't you?
You don't want to do anything with me, but it's like the dad experiencing maybe his mental health issues and trying to deal with that. Versus like the kid not understanding what's going on, or like, you know, he just gets bad enough that sounds like maybe the mom left them or they separated somehow. So oh. Scott. Oh,
Don't come in. Nothing will happen.
don't come in what? What did he say?
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Magazines, balls, gloves, etc. Yeah, there's...
Leave me alone.
Okay.
Where are my blocks? Where are my blocks?
So that's giving you hints as to what you need to be doing, I guess. Okay. Pictures that he drew, I guess, and a picture of him. Something will happen. Don't come in, something will happen. What's something?
Leave your message after the tone. We can't do this, Jay. I don't know you anymore.
Okay.
I know you've been through a lot. I know part of you's broken inside, but you won't let me in. You shut us out. You pushed us away. You pushed it. You pushed it. Now I'm broken too.
Okay, so yeah,
Please delete unwanted messages.
they did have a falling out because of his what seems to be a problem he had there. Looked like maybe we could get something in there, but maybe not. Usually the little thingies flashing like that, you can kind of interact with. But I don't know if that's where... Okay.
All messages deleted.
Okie dokie. You hear those like audio cues almost? Very much seem to be audio cues with this. I don't know why I've only got one earbud in. I guess because I'm used to streaming with Sneck here and needing to be able to hear him. Though I talk too loud, I think, sometimes when I've got these in. I don't need to be scaring myself any more than I already am, though. Alright. So... yeah, I think it might be both. Like I was saying, if the dad went through trouble, then the kid is not going to understand what's going on with him anyway. But then, like, it sounds like the dad went through more than just, like, I'm a bit depressed or I'm having trouble, like, dealing with certain things. It sounds like maybe he even got aggressive, alcoholic. There's all these beer bottles lying around. And that seems to be Ted, who's the one with the antidepressant bottles. Scott has the antipsychotic bottles. So whether he was predisposed to something, already had it, and that's why he ended up the way he did, or he went psychotic from whatever his dad was doing or going through as a result. It's hard to tell. We're just trying to piece together some clues here. And of course, they're going to leave it very, very vague. We're going to have to sit here and be like, here's like 10,000 different theories as to the direction this could be taking. So that seems to be on the one med, the kid on the other. Yes, exactly. So they both have medicine. And obviously with this being 2003, the kid is older, so not really a kid anymore. So I'm not really seeing any more clues. We can check this area before we do the picture. Okay. Like just some paints and stuff like that, tools. Again, we have like these football. They had some ball gloves, like baseball gloves, but it seems to mostly be football. Lots of beer bottles lying around. So. And there was his cap. So yeah, sports seems to be involved there. To some degree, at least. We got the American flag. I want to say the flag, but it's the American flag. I remember I have multiple nationalities potentially here. Alright, so let's grab our photograph. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm sure there are. Like, I bet everybody's breaking this down that's looking into it. Yeah, and then we had the phone call. Okay. So let's put our picture up. Yeah, you can hear like definite audio cues.
Daddy? Is that you?
Let's not turn on the light this time.
You're not supposed to be here.
He turns it.
Can't believe I looked up to him.
I bet we get shot again if we go in this
Some
room.
goddamn hero. Couldn't save his own family. We're not even a family. We're a bunch of goddamn POWs. It's all a lie. I'm living a fucking lie. Are you proud of me now? I'm a killer. Just like you. I was never good enough. Never man enough.
Okay.
I don't want to be you. I'll show him.
I don't know. Like some of the bottles, it's hard to tell. They all made the same sound. All looked fairly similar. We're probably gonna get shot. Ah.
Can't believe I looked up to him.
Damn it.
Some goddamn hero.
Okay, so
Couldn't save his
he's
own
calling them POWs. Yeah. Well, and even then,
We're a bunch of goddamn
if he wasn't for like either that or something like, you know, it's that military like kind of dad concept, like he treated his family like he was still in the military, like everything's got to be perfect, you got to be a man, you got to, you know, just very strict kind of military type environment, even if he didn't force him into the military. So that's another possibility there, even if, or like, you know, or was trying to get him to do it, or did get him to do it, you know. So I think it could go either way with that.
Looking for my dad?
Okay.
Well, you're too late. You want to find him so bad? You can join him.
Looking for my dad. Too late. You can join him. So like he's already killed him? Yeah. Yeah. There's basically two ways you can almost look at everything in this game right now. What's this? Wait. There's not really a... You can't tell what this is. Yeah, basically a bunch of those books, though, in the basement now. Thing boxed up. Yeah, we used to sing this song in school. Like church and stuff. Just, I don't really remember specifically, but I remember we sang it. Probably church. Alright, what do you guys got to say? Says something up top when you pick that up. Oh, it did? I didn't see it. The book, right? About a matter of perspective. Oh. Yeah, that's weird. I've not had any frame issues. Yeah, and I wonder how much this is, like, any of this stuff is affected by not being on the VR. Like, I could look up and down and stuff like that a lot easier. So, might be one of those, but it's probably one of those old books from upstairs. So, it seems like all those books got brought down here. Let's read this first before I pick up the damn blocks. Okay, that's his civilian version. Huh. Okay. Well, let's do the blocks. I think that's a hint. Oh, the Great Book of Blank. I think it's a hint for the blocks where you have to look at it a perspective. Okay. Distorted projection or perspective, requiring the viewer to use special devices or occupy a specific vantage point or both. Okay, a hint. A clue. A clue. That's what it was. But I had a plan C, so... And then this was, yeah, okay, and this was Scott's door, and he said, don't come in, something will happen, right? See what clues we can get before we go in. See a soccer ball. What is probably Ted. And we've got kid and then like older, little and big.
Help me!
Okay, he's holding a gun in both.
Get it out of my head!
Okay. So he's holding a gun in both, but which one was it? I would think the older one. So yeah. Alright, we've been through a couple of those. I think we've seen just about all we can from it, like in the way of getting hints about where they're going with this. But that definitely is surprising, thought-provoking. Yeah, it makes you, it kind of makes you want to piece it together. Yeah. I mean, I could see reasons for there to be lots of characters with PTSD in this game. Yeah, get out of my head. Then again, if he's the... But then again, do they have kind of a sci-fi twist? They already have a sci-fi twist, isn't it? We're reliving somebody's memories. I mean, that's not something that you can do. So maybe, like I said, I don't know if they would have that... Explore that twist where... he's aware of your presence. You're not supposed to be here. Get out of my head. That could be referring to his dad or to him, or to you as the player. It still could be referring to him. Everybody wants to get out of their own head every now and then, right? So, nightmares, memories, people. That's what's like. You can read too much into. This is one of those things. You can read too much into it. Or you can read not nearly enough. It could, like, you can... I feel like it's one of those things could go either way. So, it's definitely something that provokes analysis. It really does. And, like, how much detail you can find and what kind of theories you can come up with to piece it together. Because then, yeah, I mean, you start to think, oh, it's this. But then you're like, well, what if I'm jumping to conclusions? Like we just immediately went to, oh, military guy has PTSD. But, and we're experiencing, like, say, his memories. But then we flipped it. We're like, wait, maybe that's not necessarily what we're going with here. Maybe we're experiencing somebody else's PTSD. So, because you can get it from so many things. He has it from the military. Then the kid gets it from, a traumatic event with his father. And then person C gets it from witnessing him kill his dad and then himself, and that seems to be what's playing out. But they when you remember the sequence going in, then you get told it might be incomplete, it might be distorted. Basically, things might not be there. You might be missing clues. You might have things that are essentially wrong because they're corrupted. Like you're not getting the right data. Corrupted, because you think corrupted, you're thinking, oh, like some of these images are a bit like wonky. But corrupted could also mean not like incomplete or incorrect. So for something to be corrupted, it could mean a few different things. So if we're getting the wrong data, then that's going to definitely be like a red herring and mislead us on what might be going on. So, and something that we would have to piece together through the rest of the story. Like shooting us when we walk in there. Yeah, I wonder what that could mean. That repeated being shot is messed up. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that's probably messed up with this game. So and like I said, unless you're Scott and him shooting you is him killing himself, foreshadowing. Definitely. I can see that possibility. Yeah. So this is, yeah, it does. You just want to sit here and kind of break it down and discuss it. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Yeah, lots of theories. Right. But again, corrupted data, Rhea. Like, say, for example, what if that's what he wanted to do, but for some reason it didn't happen? Like, what if that's his... Because funny thing about memories, we have memories of things that we never did or said or saw. Because we think of things. That's an imagination. That's what an imagination is. But it still creates the memory of it. Like, I have a very wild and vivid imagination, and I know that that there's always those mistaken memories. So, funny thing with memories, right? They can be incorrect. So if we're experiencing his memories and he's psychotic, he could have just imagined that. Or maybe, like if you are someone like the dad, like, and he's having post-traumatic from seeing his son kill himself. Things like that. So, like, you could literally take this so many directions, like, and that's what's crazy about it. I think what I was going to say was, we're thinking about this. It's like I said, they've set this and described it as a prequel story to the game. So, like, maybe not a separate one altogether, because I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, we've got limited information as far as I know, which would be the best for this game. You don't want to give anything away. But basically, this is set prequel to the main game in some way. Like, he was forcing you down the exact path of how his memories were by shooting you till you went the right way. Which got me every time. Like, I knew it was coming, but it made me wince. Like, it's just the idea, I guess. Sometimes I don't know what's worse, seeing it coming or not seeing it, because anticipating pain, anticipating fright. It's the anticipation that gets you. That's why there's always like build up with stuff like that. They use stingers, they use music cues, sounds, sights. You know, you go to haunted houses. There's a lot of things that, you know, build that anticipation to make you more scared when it finally happens. So, like, yeah, anticipating that stuff can sometimes be worse than just like being scared and then moving on and not worrying about it. So, because then your mind starts to mess with you. What's going to happen? Is it going to be like this? And then, of course, there's all those classic cues like basement, lights turning off, voices, odd singing. So, definitely some crazy theories you can come up with on this Walter test case. Now, here's a question moving forward. I have not, and I might look into it a little bit, see what new information, if any, we've got about the game coming out and how this relates to it. Like, is this, like, how far prequel are we talking? Is it going to be the same case? Like, even? Or is this going to be a case that's referenced later? So that we've got the Walter test case. Like, is that the Walter test case? The Walter test case? Like, and like I say, do we know how it relates to the main game? Like, is it really going to explore kind of the same, like, person, or the same person still involved with this process, this incident? The definition of transference, like like as it relates to this game, because see here, or just like in general. So, yeah, I don't know how this one's going to relate to necessarily the main game in general, but it might be something that we discover. And like I said, sometimes it's best not to know too much, because then you do get to do this. You get to have that Alright, you're saying defined as the unconscious act of assigning feelings and attitudes associated with one's past to someone or something in the present. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I think that was along the lines of what I was probably thinking it was probably going to be, but yeah, it explains the time jumps. So, okay. So, given that, if you think about the definition then, possible to that some like that okay, say for instance, like an example would be Scott as a kid is having these bad memories of from his childhood, and maybe there's that transference to his own family, or maybe even the person who is part of this simulation now has these essentially bad memories in their head, and that's transferring into their life. Like, we thinking something like that? So, because that's another direction I feel that could potentially take then, if you're looking at kind of that definition and some possible ways, again, because this being the demo and it's prequel to the main game, like what direction is that main game going to take? Definitely a tie-in from 93 to 2002. Yeah, because we keep taking those jumps back and forth between those two which seem to be key times. Obviously, there's a lot going on in between, and then like they, you know, the mom and dad split up. She's worried about her son. Calls him a deadbeat dad. Because your test is in 2003, so it's after. Yeah. So, which obviously would make sense. We're reliving those memories of a PTSD patient. So, as he said. So, yeah. Or maybe it's like not even referring to just one case of transference specifically. So maybe you have that transference of whatever's going on with the story that we're getting here, but then like it's affecting this test, this test subject that's doing this thing in 2003 with the memory. I don't know if they had a name for it, but like this reliving the memories of somebody, and it's affecting them. Yeah. Who is the player character? Are we living this? Are we living the same character? Are we going to be living different ones? So, and then like who, like as the player character, I mean, are we as the player character going into this test? Like let's just take this demo. We get put into that. Are we being put into somebody's shoes specifically that experienced it? So we're reliving the steps they took, and that's why we could only go certain directions? Or are we our own entity within that universe? And like we can essentially free roam, sort of. Like, but like the way he talked to you would be reliving the memories of somebody. But yeah, they're like, if you're like, are you free form essentially in that memory, or are you basically essentially occupying somebody's body within that memory, their own space, like, and what exactly they saw and the steps they took? That's a curious question right there, I think. And yeah, there wasn't really any clues to the player character, and no clues to, I think, necessarily, unless you're looking at things like that, like, oh, you go off in this direction, but you know, you get shot and then you have to start over, you know. Rio, you still there? Any thoughts, or you have any opinions on how the demo went? Are you interested at all? Or are you just enjoying the theories that we're coming up with? Maybe you're in the shoes with the one with PTSD. Could be a bit of both. You're free wandering and switching to a perspective. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like when I think about it, it makes sense, because he says you're living a reconstruction of the memories of somebody with PTSD. But they don't want to tell you too much about him at a time, because it works better if you don't know too much. But we're reliving these memories of somebody with PTSD. So you would almost think that we're reliving as that person, like they move here, we move here. Kind of like we're just kind of in their, you know, kind of head as a viewer in first person perspective. But yeah, it could just be that it reconstructs this world of memories, and you're just kind of jumping in to where like you can kind of view what you need to view and want to view about it. So that there's the two ways that it could take, and I don't think it really gave too much hint as to which one that is. It could be in the shoes of different people. The light switch being how you change times. You could also be changing who and how you're seeing things. Right. Perspective viewing seems to be everywhere in this. Yes. Perspective. It's a nice point, Clancy. Okay. Which was very interesting. I wonder how long I would have been stuck on that puzzle. Like, I didn't even think about it, because I saw like the little flashy like outline of the doorway, but I didn't even think to line the blocks up with that. I just kind of went over there, was like, oh, I'm supposed to like just go that way. I didn't even think about the perspective with the blocks. That was a nice save jumping in there with that. Oh man. I don't know if I should feel bad for not thinking of that. But I guess everything is experience. You think of certain puzzles, you solve enough puzzles of a certain type, and then you get to remembering, okay, I did this for a puzzle once, I did this for a puzzle once. So I guess everything is in the experience that you have in doing things, because then you have more tools at your disposal for tackling those. Yeah. Must have meant something. That's why I say, like, some of the stuff was like flashing, and usually you can interact with a lot of the stuff that is like was doing kind of that like flashing a weird light, almost that like digitized effect. I couldn't seem to get in the cabinet for those one items though, so I wonder if that was just a slight interaction that you could do to open the cabinets to look, or if it has. And I am wondering if like there is any effect in the fact that I didn't play this with my VR headset. A bonus is I can always jump back in like at any point with the VR headset on instead, and see if that changes anything, or how easy it is to interact or view those things. Like on my screen, I couldn't see those words at all for that book. So, and they probably set it up higher, you know, again as more of like the like little nod to having a certain perspective on things, you know, and so you had to kind of look up to see the title on that one, but. That would be something to address with non-VR users if they are going to make this playable in non-VR. That's something to think about. So, because I was trying some of the different buttons and stuff, and I wasn't able to get it to do anything. Everything is deliberate, even if it's to throw you off. Yes, deliberately throwing you off, like, because obviously they have a certain idea in mind, the story with this story they're telling, obviously, and they know that you're going to be trying to piece this together, and so to keep it like as part of the story, obviously, like, so might be like a confused mind, somebody misremembering things, you know, you've got an outside perspective. The fact that you've got a person reliving these memories that was unrelated to the event in any way, shape, or form, supposedly. We weren't really told that, but you would think an unrelated party. And so it works in regards to the story, as well as a means of keeping the player distanced from the true nature of everything, until such a time as they want it revealed for, you know, the big, you know, those big reveals, surprises, story drops. Like showing a picture that looks far away but is actually really close. Yeah. It was a blocks type of puzzle. Yeah. So, and as you guys were discussing, that could be another thing that's touched on with this game. Like, that could be another theme altogether within the game, as perspective. You know, if they're going to be using a lot of those kinds of puzzles, how you're seeing things, how you're looking at things, you know, with the lights, the block puzzle, maybe it's another larger theme within the game. It's all how you look at things. And so, you know, maybe if like that idea of maybe if I'd thought about it differently, maybe if I'd looked at it from a different angle, you know, kind of thing, I would have seen what was really going on, kind of stuff. So, like I say, quite thought-provoking. I mean, look at how much it's got us to discuss this. Like, we played through not only did it's short. Like, we played through that in like, what, 15-ish minutes? And then we went through again, taking our time to go through whatever we could see and find, trying to take a closer look at what might be piecing together what's going on in this story and with this family and what they're trying to tell us, and then sitting here discussing for what, half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour already on what what's going on with this and what direction they might be taking with it. Different views of perspective to events can be psychological. Trying to piece what happened has potential. Yeah, it does make me curious for the main game. That comes out in September. Let me get that release date specifically. I want to say like the 16th or something. Yeah, 18th. We're looking at the 18th. So, very soon. Soon. Like 3-ish weeks, a little less. I mean, just right about at 18 days. I mean, we're right into the first of the month now, aren't we? It is rent day. It's the 10:58 Central Time on the 31st. So we're looking about 2.5 weeks. Makes me very curious how it's tied into the main game, or how tied into the main game this will be. Yeah, like I said, they said it was like set prequel. So I haven't heard specifically how that's, and I don't, like I said, I don't know how much detail they've given on the main game's like progression or story or puzzles or anything like that. But again, it's one of those, maybe I thought I would look more into it, but I'm wondering if I don't want to, because I'm like, this has been really awesome to do this as a live stream and then have it a discussion with you guys about it. So I actually really do want to live stream this and have you guys with me, because this has been really cool to do. And so, but it also makes me think, I don't want to know how it relates. Let us figure that out together, kind of thing, and kind of experience that the way we're going to experience it without any outside, hopefully, influence, as little as possible anyway. At least on my part. I mean, you guys, obviously, if you got curious and want to look it up, I'm not going to tell you like, no, you can't. But I don't know. This was really cool to do. Like, and the discussions we're having. Description of the game makes it clear. Literally says you take a different perspective of the family and try to piece it together. Probably not that family since it's a demo. Okay, yeah. Then that's, so, like, we were on the right track there with potentially having the different people and the different perspectives that way. But yeah, I thought this was pretty cool to do. Yeah, picking apart. It's probably a tangled mess of yarn too. It's probably gotten all knotted up, and you gotta like do that little bit of work and just to uncoil a little bit at a time, so that you don't knot it all up again. Yeah, and it was cool to do something different live with you guys. So, because all I've ever done, like I said, I did Bloodborne, then I went into Dark Souls Remastered. I didn't even finish Bloodborne. I've still got the rest of the DLC to do and the secret boss. But this was very refreshing to do, because since I tend to only live stream once a week, I almost said once a month, but that's about that sometimes. I think it's like I play that game for so long as my only live stream game, and then it's nice to have something fresh. Doing Bloodborne last seems the hardest. I haven't played all of Dark Souls 2, so I don't know. And I played enough of Dark Souls 1, I think I can... With Dark Souls 1, it seems easier in the sense that you've at least got that little bit of extra wiggle room to, like... It's almost set to where you can sit and wait. You can say, okay, the boss is doing this, then it does that, and it gives you... It's not always, like... Obviously, you're going to die, but... It seems a little bit easier to be able to pick up on what the boss is doing, read their moves, and learn them. Whereas in ones like Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, it's a lot faster paced. So then you're trying to like live long enough to see what the boss will do, or what enemies will do, and you have a little bit more of the mobs in general, larger groups, and very different enemies. I I heard any parry in Dark Souls helps with getting used to it in Bloodborne. I think with any of them, pretty much. I guess if you get the idea of parry, they vary slightly. And of course, you got your enemy timing. Have you played Dark Souls 3? Yeah, I hear that with Dark Souls 2. Like I said, I've only played a little bit of it, like a few hours of it. So like the very beginning parts, like couple or a few areas. But yeah, with Dark Souls 2, I heard like they were really crap with these cheese mobs and stuff like that. So I know that a lot of complaints stem around boss design. Just wasn't very varied or unique. But aside from that, I heard like the part of the worst of it is trying to get through areas with those crap mobs. Only very little of 3. Definitely do the DLC with it. It was just, that was wicked. Like, at first you think, okay, this is just kind of meh. Like, you're going into it. But, like, the more you played the DLC, like, it was still cool, but then, like, the more you play it, the more you're like, this is just insane. Like, the types of enemies and areas they were throwing at you. Yeah, I beat 3. I think there was only... I want to say there was, and I did the DLC. I want to say there was only one boss I didn't beat, and it's, I would say the toughest boss in the game, and it's a DLC boss. Yeah, I got 3 when it came out, and then bought and played the DLCs as they came out. I wouldn't mind going back through it again, though. I enjoyed it. I was sort of a quality build. I was strength dex, but my weapon use revolved around strength. I have a couple of great swords for my weapons that I switch between. Really popular fan theory is that the painted world you do at the end is Bloodborne's world. I can't remember if I've heard that one or not. I've seen a lot of lore videos, but not a lot of theory videos, I guess, regarding the Dark Souls and Bloodborne games. It's usually just lore about that specific game. Yeah, the fan theories can be fun. I think if they're well thought out. Like, not just, like, way out there, like, what they want it to be, but just, you know, these well thought out, like, when they present you the evidence for what they think their theory is, and why it's right, that you go, oh my god, that makes sense. Like, that would totally make sense. It just blows your mind. It's not, again, it's fun to think about stuff like that. And I never really do that a lot, so it's fun to get to do it with this a little bit and get to talk about, you know, talk a little deeper about something I'm playing like that, and in the sense of getting to try to figure it out and what we think might be going on. So definitely very cool. So you guys would be interested in like a live stream of this? Because I'm really, I enjoy the idea of it, especially as much as we've gotten to discuss this going forward, and I think I would like the company anyway. Could be a very intense game and story. And like I said, it comes out the 18th, which is midway through the month. So we could put it on, like, and we don't have to start everything exactly in October, but we could kind of put it as part of the kind of October playthrough. And like I said, I'm hoping that by then I'm getting a better idea of where I'm setting it on hours, and then we could do, like, you know, maybe like 3 streams a week or something like that on a regular basis, at least through that month, and see how it's going, and hopefully I can manage to keep up with it. Usually just part of it is if I'm doing Let's Plays and stuff like that. Trying to keep up with that video editing and stuff like that can be a little bit tough. But I was actually debating about even like not doing a Let's Play for the month and only making it streaming to do the games. Nice. I would love to do this. Yeah, definitely. It will be on the list when it comes out. We will work out a live stream schedule. And like I said, hopefully by the time, at the very least by the time, if not this comes out, by the time October hits, like October 1st, I'll have an idea where I'm going with work schedule, and that if I'm getting 2-day weekends pretty regularly, if we're cutting out most of that overtime, and just where my overall energy level is at. But like I said, I could potentially cut out the Let's Play portions in favor of live streaming the games. So this one, and I already have Observer downloaded as well. And then what we can do is also work out scheduling. Because here's the thing, we could still do, basically my time slots would be limited on days that I have to work. So I'm third shift. So basically my Monday through Friday is Sunday night through Friday morning. My day starts at, you know, the evening before. So like my Monday is Sunday from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Monday. And then my Friday ends Friday at 6 a.m. And typically we've been working overtime, so I've had to work Friday nights, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. But hopefully, like I said, by then we'll have 2-day weekends. And then, but I have to be done with whatever I'm doing and getting ready for work at 9 p.m. So basically I'm unavailable from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then, you know, while I do the work thing, and then, so we could do basically evening streams around like 5 o'clock like we've been doing, which would give us 2 or 3 hours and then still give me time to make sure I'm getting around for work. As long as I have to work that night, it's more open. If we're doing it like on days I don't have to work, obviously, like say tonight, I didn't have to go into work. It's 11 o'clock my time, so like I normally would be at work, but like that would be more open on those days. But again, there's at best going to be 2 days a week, Friday and Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, which would be Friday night and Saturday night, that I would be able to do that in most cases. So, because then the other option is that we can do it in the mornings after I get home from work and get showered up and all that. So, and again, like if it's like Saturday, Sunday for me, like it leaves it a little bit more open, as long as I don't have to be into work at night, so I can do awkward times like in between my sleeping schedule or later at night. But yeah, if you guys have something like, if these times work for you, like 6 o'clock at night, then we can keep doing that. But if there's a couple of days where we might want to move it around, you know, you just let me know, and we can kind of try to work out what's going to work best. But at least you guys seem to be able to attend. Yeah, weekend is fine. Friday and Sunday. Yeah, so like normally I go in Sunday nights. So, but if we're doing it around the usual time anyway, like like I said, that 5 to 6 start time, then we could do that. The reason I was looking at more than just the weekend days was because of trying to fit the games in and actually kind of complete them in a reasonable time frame. So I was looking at 2 to 3 days a week. Saturday to Wednesday. Usually days. Afternoons and evenings. Alright. Friday through Sunday. Oh, say like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, if you guys don't think we need to split them up too much, like you work Saturday through Wednesday, Rhea. So you're off like Thursday, Friday. So I mean, but if you're good for it on the week. I mean, we could do like Friday, Saturday, Sundays if you guys don't like, if you kind of want like a 3 in a row and then like 3 on, 4 off kind of thing. Because I was like, I wasn't sure if we wanted to do like spread out or not. We don't have to work it out like in like permanently, but I did want to kind of get an idea of what you guys thought so that I could kind of, as we come up on that time frame, I'm kind of working out the way things are going to go. So that way, just kind of have the idea in mind so that I'm hopefully not flying by the seat of my pants as much as, like, say, starting this demo up this afternoon or this evening and being like, all of a sudden I am not ready to stream. Psychological thriller stuff. Oh, Death Stranding. I wasn't sure. I was definitely interested in that. Like, at least it got me wondering what the hell it was. Even with the gameplay they've showed, I still don't know what the hell I'm looking at. It was one of those, I was back and forth between, do I just want to watch somebody play it or do I want to try it myself? Because I'm not sure if it's... I've never really played any of the Hideo Kojima games. Like, Metal Gears, I've watched some of them, but just they weren't really up my alley in the way of gameplay, I guess. Yes, it is a confusing looking game. And it seems very weird. You guys are correct. Maybe. Do we have a release date on that? Did they announce a release date for it? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like we have an official release date yet. This little snippet that popped up says Hideo Kojima confirmed that it will be released, which is a weird time for him to give, before the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So, we've got some time. So we can think about that one. If you're interested, I wouldn't mind giving it a look. Giving it a try. And we can see what games are coming around about the time it comes out as well and see what we're interested in. But I mean, I've been more willing to try new things these days. Like this type of game, I normally don't play it, but I'm kind of enjoying that I've expanded my horizons beyond JRPGs and now I've got to experience Yakuza, and I think it was just one of those things where it's not that I didn't ever play anything different. I played a lot of different stuff growing up in a way, but like, I guess as I got down to a certain point, I didn't play video games as much, so when I did, it was just kind of like go-tos. Your go-to genre or whatever, you might want to say. But I feel like I have expanded in the last couple of years on what I've been playing. And definitely since I've started YouTube, I've tried to look at different things as well, just for whatever reason, to keep it fresh. I guess for you guys and for me, like, it just kind of makes me think about it a little bit more. Oh yeah, now that you mentioned it, Rhea, I do remember that. What Sony said, Death Stranding would be part of 4 games. That's the last you heard anything important. Oh man, I am looking forward to more on Ghost of Tsushima. That one could be very interesting. Not gonna play Last of Us or Spider-Man though. Yeah, I remember we got like kind of that gameplay trailer where we got a little bit more. They were kind of the last thing I remember seeing or hearing about it. They kind of had like the injured guy and then the Norman Reedus character and then another guy, and they like things show up and they're like holding their breath essentially. And I don't know what those things are. Still don't know what the baby thing is he's carrying around in like the bubble thing. I have no idea. I don't even know. I think they just took acid and then wrote a story and designed a game. And was like, let's see what happens. It's just what happens when you're on drugs and do video game design. This Death Stranding happens. Missing out on The Last of Us. I watched a Let's Play of it because I finally decided, I'll see how that turned out, like, in general. Which it was fine. It was great. Again, just not usually a style where I am trying new things. There are some that I'm like, games that, I could tell just really wouldn't quite fit the bill for me. And that probably was one of them. Probably not as bad as like Resident Evil or Silent Hill or something like that, but I probably would have at least been a little bit more interested because it's a little bit faster paced, but and you actually can defend yourself. So again, it might be one of those things where I catch a Let's Play of it, The Last of Us 2, but because there's a couple of things that happen with the first one that I would be kind of curious about to see if it's addressed in the second. I don't know what the baby thing is. Yeah. That's where I sit with some games, where I want to know the story, and that's where I think Let's Plays, I know developers have their back and forths about it. Some developers are a little more accepting than others, and I understand it. I really do. But I think that's where some of them, like, can at least get their story experienced, and have people discussing it. Because sometimes you just aren't into playing a game. It's like Resident Evil 7. Like, if I didn't watch a Let's Play of it, I wouldn't have ever seen it. I wouldn't know jack diddly about it. It's just one, like I said, they're those games I don't want to play them. I don't really have an interest in it. The gameplay style is not something for me. It's beyond the horror aspect of it, like the scary stuff. That's not really what I'm talking about. Just that, run and hide kind of thing. And I guess you did have some weapons in there and you fought like battles, but it was different. I don't know. I would just, I think, struggle to make it through a game like that. Just playing it on my own. But yeah, so lots of good stuff to look forward to, and I think this one will be really great to experience together on a live stream. Final Fantasy VII Remake is your number one. You'll wait as long as you have to. I'll probably play it. I've played some of the original, but when I went back, I know that people, and I'm going to get so much flack for this. I know that people love it as they're like, it's that or 6. Like, there's a debate. There's always that debate. Is it 7 or 6 is the best Final Fantasy game ever? I want to go play 6. I have not played 6 yet. I have not decided how I want to play 6. But 7, when I was younger, I played some of it. I've seen good portions of it played through, and various portions of it played through by other people, my boyfriend included. But when I looked at it and when I thought about it, it honestly seemed like one that I literally would be playing through it just to say that I played through it, not because I was actually enjoying it. So that's why I haven't gone back to play it. Now, whether or not I enjoy as I go through, I don't, I probably enjoyed what I played when I was younger. But when I thought about it, I was like, I've seen all the gameplay elements with it and all of that stuff. And yeah, the battle system, and the materia and stuff like that, you strategize and stuff like that. But just in general, it seemed a little, I don't know, like maybe the pace seemed off or something like that, to where I just, like I said, it felt like rather than wanting to play it, I felt like it was one of those I had to go back and like play it all the way through just for the sake of doing it, which is not a reason to play a game. So I'll probably check out the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I don't know that I'll ever go back and play all the way through the original. Because, I mean, I've seen it. I know the story. Hold off on the remake. How you've come to feel about 15, you're iffy about the remake? So in regards to, you felt like 15's development was lackluster, like because of the story elements that everybody usually brings up, and you're afraid that they're going to go down that road with 7? I doubt they would. It's like playing, like, it's already got its own developed story. They are retelling it, is my understanding. I think I remember it was somebody that was working on it, director or something, saying that there wouldn't be much point in remaking the game and telling the same exact story. So I think there's going to be changes. It's going to be new no matter whether you've experienced it before or not. But that's my understanding. But like in the way of, yeah, I guess I'm trying to understand, make sure what your thing was with 15. Yeah, and the thing with 15 is, I get that people were upset about certain things. I think people set their expectations, again, because games get announced and then sometimes crap goes wrong or crap has to be changed. Not even necessarily to meet development deadlines. Sometimes ideas that you're having don't get realized because of hardware limitations that you weren't expecting. Maybe you thought it could handle it and it couldn't as you went through development and testing. Yeah, I try to play devil's advocate here. I really do. I'm the neutral ground. I try to see both sides because I could see where people were coming from, and there were things that like frustrated me with 15, like little things here and there. But when I played it, I was locked in. That was the first time I sat down and wanted to play a game that badly in so long. And it's what got me back into playing video games on a regular basis. After that came Tales of Berseria, and then Tales of Zestiria, Persona 5. You know, it cascaded from there. And by 6 months later, I was live streaming on YouTube for different reasons probably than playing Final Fantasy 15, but or not live streaming, but I was at least Let's Playing. But it really did. It seemed to be the start of me getting back into video games, and I enjoyed it. I was super into it, into the characters, into the story. And like the only time I got nitpicky like about anything was after the fact, really. It's, you know, hindsight's 20/20. But I enjoy it, and I still enjoy it. I still go back and play it every now and then just to have, for the sake of playing it. Like, I got to play through with Iggy being my favorite character, and now I get to go back through, and like before with Iggy, like totally my favorite character. I got to eyeball him up and down all the way through the game. Now I get to go back through with Gladdy and just watching him from behind all the way through the game. So it's a whole new game now. Yeah, PS1, which isn't a thing now, so they can add more. Yeah, they can add more, yeah. Number of things about 15 bothered me a lot after I was finished with it for a while, and I've heard they wanted to partially use the same battle system, so you're just leery. Well, I mean, they might be taking some cues from it. I think they would fix it, like, for 7 to work better with 7, but I think the action of the battle system isn't bad. Like, they could refine it to make it a little, like I say, work a little bit more for 7. But if they're using it as a basis rather than doing turn-based, but doing something action-based, I don't think that's bad. But I could see again where people, because then you're gonna get these Final Fantasy VII purists. They're like, it's got to be turn based. It's not gonna work if it's not turn based. And it's like, well, if you want Final Fantasy VII, go play Final Fantasy VII. If you want the remake, then play the remake. But they're not gonna be the same game. There's no, and I agree with whoever it was that got quoted as saying it. There's no point in making the same game. They're gonna make something new. I didn't like Luna Freya and Kingsglaive. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say didn't like. I think what I didn't like was that they were so different. They had different personalities. I'm not sure, I guess, who I liked more, but they had very different personalities and looks. Like, that didn't make sense. That's my thing with Kingsglaive and Final Fantasy 15. I was just like, why does she look and act so different between the two? Yeah, like, they're gonna change it up with remake, so you might as well just accept that it's not gonna be the same game you played. And if you want that again, go play the original. There's no, like, some people out there, they really do, they want them to remake that exact same game in the exact same way, minute for minute, second for second, just with pretty graphics. Why would a developer want to do that? Like, they want to have that, they're gonna take that limited, what they were limited on before, and expand on that and do something fresh and new and exciting for them too, and for the audience. But yeah, so, and then with 15, people keep forgetting that it was a troubled development. It really was. And it is not, Versus 13. Stop asking for Versus 13. If they want to take elements of Versus 13, like the story and stuff like that is completely different from 15, and like use that in something else, then by all means. But they're not going to do a 13. I think partly why they didn't, that was part of the problem, was because it was a 13. It was part of the 13 series, and 13 was starting to go downhill, I think, in a bad way, and to a certain extent, at least at the time, which it seems to be picking back up. I think 13 got underrated a little bit. I think it got undercut. It's kind of like 15. You kind of get that mob mentality where people just start nitpicking certain things, and then they decide that because one little thing was wrong with it, or they didn't like certain aspects of it, that it makes it an entirely bad game. I personally am not a fan of, like, Lightning Returns. It's just the pacing and the gameplay didn't turn out for me as well as I've tried it a couple of times. I just can't seem to get through it. But I played 13 and 13 too, and I enjoyed it, and I kind of want to go back and play the original 13. So, I enjoyed it when I played it. I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. Yeah, so with these remakes, that's something they get to do. They get to do something they didn't get to do before. Anybody that's like watching this after the fact, again, thank you if you actually are. And then, yeah, we've kind of wandered off topic. But now we're talking about Final Fantasy and remakes and games in general, but it's fun. I love it. I love getting to do this. I never just get to talk to people, like, with my opinions on these things. So that's why my opinions aren't fully developed, is because I just don't really get to discuss it. Like, I think of them in my own head, but I have trouble getting them out there. I'm not really good always at expressing myself, and I'm at least better at sometimes giving an opinion than I am in giving directions or teaching somebody to do something. No, I'm bad at it. Okay, Rhea. Well, thank you so much for sticking around and chatting with us. Partly why I was going to say, like, this is also partly why I have trouble getting those videos out. Like, I want to, like, my unique videos, not like the Let's Plays. So I wanted to do, like, they would be like opinion/review kind of videos. Basically just giving my thoughts and like discussing the various aspects of games that I've played, like Yakuza or Persona 4 and 5, like comparisons. things I liked and disliked, going into those, and all of that stuff. But it's just really hard to get my thoughts together on that. And in fact, the last I was like, okay, those ones are a little more complicated. Okay, let's take, like, say, Yakuza 0. I played through that game. I want to actually have a discussion about it and say what I liked and, you know, how I was glad I got into this series. And I literally have all these random, just blabbering, terrible audio clips of me trying to record lines for the video. And I can't seem to get my thoughts together on it. Like, I tried to type out a script. I tried to type out, like, just a bullet point list. For some reason, it's just a struggle for me, and I don't know why. I've not always had... sometimes I have a tough time doing writing projects and stuff, but I've had so much fun chatting with you too, Ria. I'm so glad that you stuck around and did that. It's been great having these conversations. I've never, like I said, really got to do it, so it's awesome. Haven't played Persona... Where are you on Persona 5? Persona 5 for me, like, I got hooked right away. I bought it when it came out. Day one, actually. I didn't pre-order it. I had been back and forth about buying it, but I'd heard about the Persona games and the Shin Megami Tensei, and I hadn't played any of them. And the only thing I had that touched on it at all was their Fire Emblem Cross SMT game, which they named here in the West the Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. And I really enjoyed that. It was a nice mix of the two. The dungeon crawling of, like, the SMT versus the kind of story base of Fire Emblem. And relationship thing, almost. About to go to Hawaii? Wow. Nice. That's gonna be about... Yeah, I know where... Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, you've got a ways to go, but you're still a good ways in. So, you've got that nice middle ground. It's going to start getting interesting, basically. If it hasn't already. That's what's great about it, is you think it's interesting. And then, Persona 5, with that, you just keep getting surprised at how much more it can add into that. Night, Ria. So yeah, but when I started playing Persona 5, I played for a really good stretch, just like all the time. It was like pretty consistent, and then it was like 2 or 3 months that I didn't play it at all because I was playing other stuff. And then I got back in. I also kind of hit like a little bit of a wall with a mini boss, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a break. It ended up being like a 2 or 3 month break, and then I went back and finished playing it. And that was last year, right? Yeah. I think I finished playing it sometime like right after I had started doing Let's Plays, so I just kind of jumped in here and there to finish it off. Yeah, plot starts getting juicy, real juicy. It's crazy. I love Persona 5. I was actually sad to finish it. I heard that. P6 has my money all the way, like, because I did go back and play Persona 4. I've got to finish the final dungeon, but I have this problem with Persona games. I'm noticing it's a pattern. I get so far into the game, and then I take a few months off, and then I go back and finish it. But I guess it's not a problem as long as I finish it and I enjoy it. But yeah, I went and got a Vita specifically to play Persona 4. I've actually pre-ordered the Persona 3 and 5 dancing games, which I got I ordered the special edition, which comes with the Persona 4 dancing as well. So, yeah. But yeah, P6 got my money. That's for sure. I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. I really loved what they did with P5. But like I said, I went back and played P4, and I was very pleased with it and got hooked on it right away as well. And there were some elements that I thought worked very well for that game versus Persona 5. So, not bad at all. So, I definitely am interested in playing Persona 6. It's probably going to be a couple of years, which I don't mind. Take your time, because you took your time with P5 and it turned out great. Everything was so fantastic about that. The music, the art, the sounds. So just the way they design that whole thing. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Persona 6. Right? Have you been watching the anime at all, or are you gonna do that? Because I've been watching Persona 5 the animation, and I could see where it would the pacing might not work for people that haven't played the game. It's almost it would feel rushed almost because they just kind of skip over certain things and get to plot point in a way, which you think would be good, but I could see where it might be off-putting to people who aren't getting that fan servicey kind of nature out of it. I've been keeping up with it on a weekly basis. That's part of our weekly thing. Like, well, I'm watching it. Jonathan's not. He loved Persona 5, but he's just not really into the anime. And then we've been watching Angels of Death and How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. I'm very excited about the new Tiger and Bunny projects coming out. So, like, we've got, as part of that team's development, they've got the Double Decker anime coming out. We've also got more Ace Attorney anime coming out. I'm a dork for that. I've actually started playing the games again. Like, I'd played through the first 3 and the investigations. So now I've gone back and I'm playing Apollo Justice and then going to play Dual Destinies. So I've been playing those games again. I'm really excited because I was wanting more Phoenix. I'm more interested in Phoenix's story, but I didn't realize how much of his story was in Apollo Justice game. So I had to go back and grab that one before I went ahead with Dual Destinies. Should be the same engine as 5. Okay. Which will cut development time dramatically. That'll be nice. Like, obviously getting it sooner is always nice, but since we just now heard that they've just about them already starting development, I would imagine that it's going to be a bit I would think at least 2020 before we see it. So maybe we get some news on it next year, but it could be even like 2021. Because I don't put it past them like to put a few to not be afraid to put a few years in between their games. So I am definitely excited for 6. I don't even know anything about it. Like, we don't know dick, but I already want it. That's how good their last game was. Right, big part of it. All right, so if we're looking at 8 years between P4 and 5 just because of the engine, I mean, let's see, P5, that came out. Was that just 2017 or was that 2016? I'm losing track of time here. Because it seems like so long ago and yet so not so long ago that it came out. 2016, okay. And we don't know exactly when they started development. We just know that they have already started it. So yeah, I mean, I think since we haven't heard anything else on it, but Atlas is pretty good to not show their hand until they're close. I mean, I know that they've teased stuff like Persona 5 and stuff like that before. But yeah, 2020, 2021. And I don't think that they seem to be pretty good, though, in general, to not show a lot before they're ready. Like, you know, you get, like we were talking about, you get some of these developers with the itchy trigger fingers, and they kind of want to get the word out there and get hype going, but they do it so early that it's hard to keep that hype going. You can't keep it up. So I think they'll hold off until they absolutely have to. Right, they'll let you know what's happening. Yeah, Bethesda, Atlas, they let you know what's happening. They let you know that they want to, or that they're doing it, or that they're working on it. They're like, it's a thing, it's gonna happen, but we're gonna need some time. And like, that's they let you know, but that's about it. So, but the fact that they let us know that they've started development tells me that they probably feel it's going in a pretty steady direction at the very least, because they wouldn't say, I feel like they wouldn't say something unless they felt like they could give us something out of it, like within a reasonable time frame. And I'm not even saying within the same year, like, you know, maybe like that next year they could give more updates. Square. Yeah. Square just wants you to know everything that they want to do for the rest of their life. So you're like, well, it's a thing. It could happen in 5 years or 500 years. That's about it. Like, that's all we know. And anytime between 5 and 500 years from now, we will have this game. They're pretty they're pretty bad to get that itchy trigger finger for. They're like, we're so excited. I'm like, I know, I get it too, because I'm one of those people that I buy presents, you know, for people, like birthday presents, Christmas presents, and I want them to have it now. I'm like, just do it now. I get it. You get excited. You get excited for something you've worked on, and then you get excited to give it to the people that you know would be excited to have it. Please look forward to it. Yes. Please be excited. Please be excited. It's their catchphrase. It's a total meme now too. Please be excited. We have things. Be excited. When? Just be excited. But when? Eventually. Be excited. All right. Well, we are about an hour, maybe a little more even, into just like post-game discussion and then discussion of everything else that is going on in the world. What else did Atlas do? Like, I think might have been my first Atlas game too. Because they mostly just did like the Shin Megamis and Personas, right? There it is. All right. Are they part of the Soul series? Originally? Or did they just own it now? They're listed under publishers, but I'm for Demon Souls. You had no intention of playing 5, but your friend told you to try it? No regrets. I know From Software is Souls, but I was trying to look because I was just Googling like Atlas games. And I have like on the wiki page are listed like publishers: Sony Interactive Entertainment, Atlas, Bandai Namco Entertainment, Atlas. So I don't know how that works with them. I think the license has changed hands. But otherwise I don't know. Like, I know From Software are the developers, but that's about all I know on that one. And it might just be Demon Souls. But like I said, I don't know if, let's see. I don't know how much I can trust a wiki page on it, but published in Japan by SCE in February 2009, in North America by Atlas USA in October 2009, and Australia and Europe by Namco Bandai Games. And so depending on where, like, the publisher was different depending on region? Is that what I'm seeing? I have no idea. Someone might have to elaborate on that one. That's different. So, yeah, yeah, I was just trying to figure out what other Atlas games. Are they the developer on the Personas, or they're just the publisher? Which one is it? Oh, they're the actual developer on Persona. Okay. But it looks like maybe had some publisher or involvement with Demon Souls. Etrian Odyssey. I guess anything that they had a hand in is going to show up. But whether they're publisher or developer might vary. Oh my god, Trauma Center. I did play that. It was like the thing to play back when you first got a DS. Let's see. And I did play Tokyo Mirage. So that probably was the first, unless like we count one of these earlier games. And I don't know if they're considered publisher or developer or both on this. Publisher, Nintendo. Who's our developer here? Atlas. Yeah, so that would have come before Persona 5, and then just depending on those older games, whether they're publisher or developer and what you count. Yeah. Called it publishing. Yeah, I with the Shin Megami Tensei games, I haven't played any myself. I started to watch somebody's Let's Play on Nocturne. Because I hadn't really played any of the SMT games. So I thought, what the heck, I'll check out kind of that. But it seems so slow paced and so bland. Some of the later ones are different ones. Like, I know that they make a few different, basically, types of Shin Megami Tensei. That maybe those would be a little bit different. Maybe in a better way. But they had this Shin Megami Tensei 5 that they've announced, and that's might be interesting. I'm waiting to see more about it. So it just depends. I think John's pretty into the idea of playing it at the very least. He played Nocturne back in the day. I think he actually still has it. He has all his like old PS2 games. Like he's got all the old Dot Hack, those that 4-part one, not the GU like that we bought the remake of, but the what am I trying to think of? Which series was it? It's like the ones like Outbreak and all that. It's like the 4-parter. The SMT ones, sort of, it's in the same vein. So usually it's, there's some sort of post-apocalyptic, event, so some sort of apocalyptic event. You're kind of going through the world, and then like you've got the similar monsters, I don't know if would be all the same, but at least similar. And there is like the monster catching sort of aspect to it, where you get monsters to your side to be able to help you in battle. Like I said, I haven't really played any of the games myself. I got a little bit of that SMT flavor, like I said, just a little bit with the Tokyo Mirage sessions, but only a little bit. But yeah, and it does work around those like kind of the weakness-based combat. So getting your extra turns by, getting crits or something like that, and like using weaknesses to your advantage kind of stuff. I don't know how much it varies from game to game, but it's same basic idea. But like I said, what I've seen of a lot of them, it just seems a lot slower paced, less. I haven't got to see a lot of most of them though, so it's probably not fair to judge all of the SMT series based on like say Nocturne. But what I saw of that was it was a lot slower paced, a lot less colorful, a lot more bland in general. The environments, textures, the gameplay, there was story there, but it just wasn't building very well. It just didn't seem very fun. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. See, when I played through in Japanese, actually. I downloaded the Japanese audio track and played with that. But I watched Let's Plays of other people doing it after I played. Or during my playthrough, and they were playing in English, so I got to hear those voices. Yeah, Robbie David nailed that. Like, all the voice actors did really good. But Akechi's got some parts that I wasn't sure how that was going to turn out in English, because just the way it was. So I was like, because you know how sometimes they have those inflections basically in Japanese that you just don't, that they don't always translate well, like when you're trying to figure out how to have the English voice actor do it. It's kind of like, I had some of those moments, but they all came off. I thought they did really well. Like, the voice acting went really well for the English dub. Yeah, and then you've got Ray Chase is the train announcer. The subway announcer. It's like Final Fantasy 15 P5. Yes, yes. Core is Yusuke. Matthew Mercer. Like, they were just like, they went from one recording studio to the other. They're like, okay, and next. What, they didn't release too far apart either, right? So it might have been, they're just like, okay, we're recording for Final Fantasy 15 today, and then Persona 5 tomorrow. I want to say I was watching some behind the scenes like voice acting videos on YouTube, like interviews with the cast from Final Fantasy 15, and them saying, like, you know, a lot of them hadn't met before then, but they just all ended up being pretty good friends, stuff like that. And of course they have, like, you've got your lava, loud, annoying, very annoying group. Yeah, you've got Ryuji, Max Middleman. So just they got all the talent there. Wait, which one? Oh, is that the name? How many? So he got to do a little bit there. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I'd have to go back. It's been a while since I rewatched it, but it's been a few months. Okay, yeah. That guy. Typos. I know what you mean. Did you hear the did you hear Max and Robbie's like one night song recording, the Jaguar? That Jaguar song, because there was like a jaguar that escaped at a zoo, and it had got out of its holding and killed a bunch of the other animals in the park. They literally, I'm pretty sure they just got drunk and then just decided, I wonder what it would sound like if we just recorded a song in one night. Like, they were even talking about it a little bit on a live, kind of a live stream thing that they did from their hotel room at one of the cons. Those two and Ray were just dicking around in their hotel room, and they talked a little bit about it. I don't know, like, I think they had posted it through, like, I don't know if it was on Lava or one of, like, Robbie's or Ray's Twitter or something like that. They posted the recording of that video. But like, if you just look up their Jaguar song, I was trying to think of what they actually called it, but it, it was kind of hilarious. You're gonna have to look that one up. Is it weird that I don't really... I'm sitting there like, you know, I'll be like, Max Middleman, Ray Chase, Robbie Damon, Matt Mercer, these voices, that voice, but I don't know any of the females. Or is that pretty typical of a girl to know the guy actors and not the girl ones? I seem to have more male voice actors memorized than female. But maybe because I really get into the male characters. Because Matt Mercer also played one of my favorite Tales characters. It was Alvin. Love Alvin. He was awesome, and he was the most, like, probably well-developed character in that game. It was Tales of Zillia. And that's why I played Tales of Zillia too. I was like, more Alvin! I've still got to finish that game. I started recording a Let's Play of that way back. And then it kind of fell off the map a little bit. So I don't know if I would just start over. Because then I could probably redo it to where I could get my recordings a little bit more set to, like, deal with the forced grinding in that game. The cyberpunk footage. The female they call V was Makoto. Or Makoto. However you wish to put the inflection on that one. Okay, yeah. I'll have to go check out that footage because I haven't seen any of the new stuff they've released. So it's definitely something I need to check out. But I've got 2 chapters of Kiwami left. And then I've got Kiwami 2 on the shelf. And like I said, I've pre-ordered Fist of the North Star. Obviously, we're going to have Transference coming out in September. Suddenly, I went from having no games to play. Like, I was sitting here thinking about the rest of the year going, well, I've really only got Kiwami 2 I'm going to get. To having, like, 5 or 6 games. And I'm like, let's do this. Let's do the thing. 48-minute gameplay video from E3. Private to media. So just like something they got to do behind closed doors and then released kind of to the masses. Is that what you mean by that one? Yeah? Alright. Cool. I'll have to check it out. I definitely should, because I'm hearing a lot of good things about it and a lot of excitement for it. So I should probably look into it, see what that's going to be all about, and see what I think. Because like I said, I've been getting to hear about it, and I know a few people that are pretty excited for it. I don't even know why. I have that earbud in. Okay, I should probably go have caffeine or something, because apparently that or I'm too wired. I'm not sure which, because I'm doing all the weird shit tonight. I forgot I have a smoothie. It's not a smoothie anymore. It's all melted. Commitment. It's still cold. Ooh, ish. Well, now I have strawberry banana water. It's not bad considering. I'm still gonna drink it. But yeah, I can tell I've actually been talking so much my voice is about to go. But this has been super cool. Hey, we can still talk. Like, if you ever think about anything, we got DM on Discord, or just hit me up in the gaming section. But should probably go take a potty break. Right? You get to talking about a game and you're just like, okay, now I gotta go play it. I really want to play Kiwami, but I have a butt ton of video editing to do. So I've got to let it all compress so I can work on it. I wanted to go ahead and start posting more of the story, and then I'm going to go back and edit all of the stuff. But I've just got so much where I grinded the entire Coliseum in Komaki's training. So I just want to make montage videos of that. But since it's not story related and isn't really necessary for you guys moving forward, I can go back and insert those videos and upload them later, those montages, so that you guys can see how that went down, and also see how I decided to do the grinding for it, to get the money and the points for it. And then there's another section coming up that gave me trouble, that took me, I want to say, like an hour and a half or something like that. And I don't want to post an hour and a half of me struggling with like repeating the same little segment over and over, because I keep dying, because it starts you back over at the very beginning, and then you have to go through the whole thing again, and then I would like die, and then I'd start back over, and I did that for like an hour and a half. So I kind of want to just cut together maybe some, I haven't decided whether I want to cut out all of the losing altogether, or like post in like little highlights, essentially, maybe to some music, like as I tend to do, and then like show when I finally got it right. So that it's just a lot of editing based on the fact that I gotta make up for the fact that I suck at the game sometimes. It could, and then I try to like not let you hear me yell. That's why I've done some editing to just, I've cut out all of the game audio, and I just posted in the battle music, so you didn't have to listen to me just repeatedly going motherfucker and goddamn it. And that's like literally all the battle was. And call it losing. What's that? It's not losing if you eventually win, right? I've been working on my patience a little bit, but I mean, I'm a human being, I guess. Sometimes I lose it a little, which has been great, because I've had M in the comments like just kind of pep talking me like, it's okay, it really is the hardest of all the games, and you're on hard mode, so it's like frustrating at this point or that point, or there is those really like cheese bosses and stuff like that, kind of pep talking me. And because I like was apologizing profusely at the end of the last video, like I'm sorry, I just suck, okay? I don't mean to get mad all the time, because I just spent like 3 or 4 episodes just being angry. I was mad at everything. Yeah, I hadn't done any Yakuza before either. And then there wasn't really any reason that I decided to pick it up. I just, I never really heard a bad thing about it. And then they had just released the Kiwami not too long before I picked it up. And I kept seeing it there in the store, and I was like, well, I don't know. It looks like it could be a fun game to play, I suppose, and I could give it a try now that they've re-released it, remastered it. So I picked it up and was going to play, and then I actually had like another streamer friend that was going to play as well. We were like, hey man, we could like play side by side. We would be able to discuss it as we go. Like I'd play just a bit ahead of him, be able to watch the streams, and we could discuss like, and like there was a bunch of us that were doing that, kind of playing together. And one of the guys who had already played these Yakuza games before said to play Zero first, because they added some stuff into Kiwami that pertains to Zero, like basically flashback kind of stuff or references. And I think it could go either way. Like, I think you could play Kiwami or Zero first, just depending on what kind of experience you're wanting to have. But essentially, I play Zero now, I play Kiwami, and no regrets. Like, it has fast become my favorite series. I am in love. Yeah, that was really fun. I had forgotten about that till the other day. I can't remember where it was brought up again, but yeah, I got reminded of it, and I was like, I had totally forgotten about. I think it was having something to do with the release coming up for Kiwami 2, and them like people like joking, as long as they don't accidentally release the whole game again before they mean to. Yeah, that was hilarious. But there's just so much to the Yakuza games, and they've managed to make there's like lighthearted stuff, funny stuff, serious stuff, just out there stuff. Like the craziest shit happens, and there's always side quests, but everything seems to kind of manage to always feel very organic, and always, no matter how weird, funny, or serious it gets, it always seems to work for what's going on, and work for the characters, work for their personalities, and work for the game. It never feels like it doesn't belong necessarily. So they somehow, it just, they've spent a lot of time with it, and the writing is very good. I don't know how, like, obviously Kiwami compares to the very first game in the sense of, like, what changes were made, like, writing and style and stuff like that. But it holds through 0 and 1. They're just very good writing. Everything is very well thought out. Hey, Valkos! What you doing? You managed to catch us, like, talking about all the random crap. We've been here for an hour and a half, like, sitting on this screen. We finished the demo, then we played it again to try to go back and analyze every little, like, detail, to try to discuss what was going on. And we've been talking video games, and just, like, we talked, and then we talked for, like, a half hour, 45 minutes, just about what we saw and what we thought was going on. And then now we've been talking about all the video games ever. Like, what we're playing, what we're gonna play, what we want to play, what we're interested in. Yeah, random conversation. Yeah, we are gaming and chilling. Like, we're not even gaming anymore. We're just chilling and chatting. This is just a live chat now. But that's what I was telling Plan C and Rhea. Rhea left for the night. She went to bed, but she well, we were all just basically talking about how it was nice to sit and discuss the theories of a game. So this is actually gonna be a game I'll live stream when it comes out, or shortly after it comes out, as part of my October live stream games. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're talking about Transference, right? Yeah, the very good impression. Like, it gets you thinking, it gets you wondering, and obviously, like I said, we spent like a half hour, 45 minutes after playing a second time to discuss it, and what we thought might be going on, or what direction they might be taking with it. So, because like I said, we played through the first time, and then got very curious as to what was going on. So we went back and looked at all the details. We looked at the books, we looked at the pictures, we listened to the voices and the conversation that was happening, to try to decide what might be going on with this game, and what direction they might be taking, not only this demo, but the main game, because this is supposed to be prequel story to the main game. So it's not like a horizontal slice, if you will, of like in segment of the game that we're gonna play. This is its own separate thing, an own separate sort of story to what's gonna be happening when we get the full release. Yes, Plan C saved my butt. I got stuck for a minute, and Plan C came in just like a puzzle beast. Just was like, oh, do this. And I was like, holy shit, you were right. Yes, I will stream the whole thing. So, start to finish together. I don't know how long it's going to be necessarily, and I don't know if they have an idea, but I plan to do it as a live stream, because I really enjoyed having people there to discuss it with as we went and afterwards. I was telling them before, I've only ever done Dark Souls and Bloodborne at this point as a live stream, and I'm very distracted and consumed by just not dying. So with something like this, where I might be distracted trying to like pay attention to what's going on so I know what's happening, I also have people there to help me catch things I don't see, and then to bounce those ideas off of what might be happening in the game. And it just felt very different, and I really enjoyed the vibe that I got from doing this as a live stream. Yeah, I would love to have you, especially if you can, like, we're kind of discussing a little bit where we might go with the live stream sessions, because I was saying I could do more live streams in, like, when we come up end of September or beginning of October, when I start, like, because I kind of wanted to do something different for October, kind of like Halloween month, and do something that was different for me, which was like those horror or thriller or psychological, kind of thriller games. So this one and Observer were the two I was looking at checking out. And then being able to do, it would be more than once a week. It would be probably like 2 or 3 times a week. I'm trying to hit 3 times a week, because I figure by then we should have slowed down, and by then I'll also know how much we've slowed down at work, and hopefully where my energy level is at, and that I can keep up with doing about 3 live streams a week. Yeah. Yeah, we did. Like, I got scared a couple of times. I did. It wasn't as bad as I thought, which probably makes sense. It's probably going to be a little bit scary to relive a scary memory kind of thing, you know, but like, not like, you know, amnesia horror, you know. It's psychological thriller. There's going to be those points where you're disturbed, or you get shocked, or, you know, you jump from something that happens that you weren't expecting. But I feel like the direction that this was headed with that scare factor felt about right. You were more intrigued as to what was going on, maybe somewhat hesitant or nervous, but not like terrified. We'll see how that holds in the main game as well, though. But yeah, I was wanting to do more live streams kind of around that October time, which just depending, like if we do it like we said and do like 3 days on, 4 days off, I could do 3 days. Uh-oh, my PS4 doesn't like that I've not been doing anything. It's like, you've been doing nothing for the past 2 hours. I'm going to shut off. I've not been doing nothing, PS4. I've been talking about this game and other games. Yeah, disturbing. Well, Outlast, I feel like I was a little bit horrified. I got a little bit of... I didn't like the whole, like the dude that was chasing you right on your ass. You can't see him, like you're just trying to get away, and you're just, like that ankle biting kind of crap where you just want to get away. So I think that one probably scared me more than this one's going to, but like if you had me playing Outlast, that's like terrifying to me probably. I've seen Outlast 2 played as well, but I don't like if I had to pick one, I would pick Outlast 1. Outlast 2 just didn't, like, it just didn't make any sense, I guess. So, but yeah, I might be able to, I keep stopping mid-sentence, but I was going to say, Valkos, that I might be able to still do Let's Plays, just depending, but then if I had to, I could cut Let's Plays out in favor of streaming for the month. Oh, man. No way. Like, in the battery? The battery. Like, you have to worry about your battery. Then you got the camera. In the dark. Yeah. I've only seen them done as a Let's Play, though, so I haven't actually played it myself, because I would probably die over and over and over and never be able to complete it. That's my concern with that stuff outside of getting scared, is that I'm just... I feel like I would have no talent for it. But something about Observer had caught my eye, and I wanted to do that one last year. But I had just started the YouTube thing, and I was struggling through an LP, and I was just trying to get my shit together. So I didn't end up doing it. And it's nice that, because now I've got the live stream thing going, so I can actually do it as a live stream instead. Yeah, I haven't seen anything for Observer, but I'm okay with that. Like, I did, I know I talked to somebody about it, and they enjoyed it, and they thought it was a pretty good, solid game. So, well, it sort of works both ways, because if you're uploading your live streams, then people can watch them still. Now, the thing between LPs and live streams is when people look at the length of a video, like, they almost get that idea of watching it in one sit-down session, which is why I try to keep my LPs to a little bit more of that bite-size, you know, chunk. But the thing when I watch LPs, or the replays of live streams, like if it's a live stream that went 2 or 3 hours, I know I can sit down and like watch 30 or 45 minutes and then pick back up where I left off. I mean, YouTube typically saves where I was at anyway, and even if I don't, I just kind of remember where I was at and I can get close to it. But people look at that time and they find it a little bit daunting. Yo, Sieg, how you doing? We've just been sitting here for like 2 hours discussing video games, this game and other games. Like, literally everybody's jumping again, like, hey, she's doing the demo. I did the demo like 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. Right? Well, yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, it, again, I think people get in that mindset that they look at that time, but they don't really focus on, I could watch just this much of it and then watch the rest later. Doing good. Just enjoying getting to chat, honestly. It was because I've only done Dark Souls and Bloodborne's live stream, so having this was refreshing, and then getting to discuss the fine details of what went on. So I never usually get to do that. So happy to see you, though. Yeah, we just were kind of in a weird wrap-up state where, you know, that thing where you say goodbye on the phone and then you start another conversation. That's where we're at. We've been doing that for about 2 hours. But it's been fun. So we've been getting to talk about a lot of different things. So people are going to come in for a 20-minute demo and get another like 2.5 hours of just game chatter. So, and I'm drinking my strawberry banana water because it was a smoothie and I forgot about it for 2 hours and now it's melted. Yep, post goodbye. Yes. This is us having said goodbye 2 hours ago. Because the thing is, we played through it twice. The first time we played it, the second time we went through to find all those fine details. But yeah, I wouldn't want to necessarily replace LPs with live streams. I kind of like the LPs, especially since they're easier for me to edit. By the way, here's the thing. I know that people record their live streams to their computer while they're doing it so that they can, like I would record my Let's Plays. And it's just recording to my computer so that I can sit there and... Now, I know I can download my own video from YouTube, but I don't know how to record to my computer or my external hard drive, for example, while I'm live streaming. Like, I'm doing this, and it would be... Like, I've thought about doing that. That way it's already on there, and I can edit it if I want into smaller episodic chunks. Or something like that. But I haven't figured that out. Like, doing that. So, like, at this point, like, if I wanted to do that, I would just have to download the video to my computer from YouTube. So... What was the stream about again? You asking me if I have a favorite game? In the recording software? Record while streaming. Okay, I'll have to look for it. I don't want to mess with it while I'm actually streaming because I'll mess something up. Because, like, favorite game, that's like asking, like, favorite, like, movie, favorite food. Like, it can vary from day to day. But, like, there's games that I consider totally replayable, like Final Fantasy X. I like Persona 5. I'm loving the Yakuza series. That's, like, I was just telling Plan C, that very quickly became, like, my favorite game series. I'm obsessed. Yeah, I use OBS. Because I started to look it up before and I couldn't seem to figure out exactly how that worked. I think I wanted to try it with like that Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition, but there was two things with that. That game runs at a like higher kind of settings that takes a lot. Plus, I was recording from my computer, which I'd never done before. So like if I wanted to do something on PC with you guys, I wouldn't know what the hell to do. I really wouldn't. I have not, that much I have not figured out. Like, I fake it till I make it with this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing as a YouTuber. But, yeah, yeah, game-wise, shit. There's just, I've been playing a lot of good games lately, and that's what I've loved about, like, checking out the different stuff that I have. But, like, right now, it's Yakuza. Like, all of it. And I've got the Fist of the North Star pre-ordered so that I can play that as well. It's from the Yakuza team. So, definitely checking that one out. That one comes out October 2nd, but that gameplay's probably going to have to wait. You know, I say I wouldn't want to replace LPs, but, I mean, I do get to thinking about how the LPs work for when I'm having to work so much, and I really just have no energy for live streaming. I barely have the energy to get the video editing done that I do, even when it's minimal. So, I think it's one of those things that almost could be seasonal. But I have thought about the fact that with Bloodborne and Dark Souls, basically those Soulsborne games being the only ones that I have done live streams of. Like I said, we got to do this. And this, like, it changed it up in such a great way. And like, gave me something fresh to talk about with you guys and to do with you here. And a totally different vibe and discussion for getting to... For a live stream for me. So, I mean, I wouldn't be past, like, trying one of these other games. Like, we're going to have this and we'll do Observer, like, for the October thing. But then, like I said, we've got Kiwami 2. We've got Fist of the North Star. And there's that Bee Simulator that's supposed to release this year. We could dick around with that. Like, do sorts of stuff like that in live streams. It'd be fun and different. So... And then we were just talking about all the games that were coming out and how I was realizing that there's a lot more games now that I'm going to end up playing over the next few months than I realized there was going to be. I think it was that I just had Kiwami 2, and then when it came down to it, and I decided to do these games in October and then order Fist of the North Star. And then I remembered Bee Simulator, how I kind of wanted to have some fun with that because it could be interesting. It sounds like they've actually put some thought into it. Nice family-friendly thing. Try not to cuss during wasp fights. And then I can... Because, like, I don't aim for, like, a family-friendly channel. I just kind of do whatever fits the game. So, like, if it's a mature game, don't expect me not to, like, drop an F-bomb here and there. It's not like I go out of my way to try. It's just... happens naturally, but you know, like Moss, I kept the cussing out of that, and you know, because that's a little bit more of a kid-friendly thing. So, anyways, seems like the conversation is winding down finally. I think we blabbered on enough for a while, huh? Going on 2 hours 45 minutes of just pure video game chatter. So. I have not finished Dark Souls. I did 3 bosses today. I did like the Fire Sage Demon, which is like the fire reskin of the Asylum Demon. I did the Big Fiery Caterpillar, and I did the Bed of Chaos. So we have like New Londo, which we apparently can't get through that all the way, but Plan C was wanting to have me pick up like the Ember from there, but I've got to reactivate the Firelink Shrine bonfire, so I've got to go fight those guys if I want to do that. I still have the Painted World I can do. I have all the DLC, and then I have that tomb area, that really dark tomb area we just got the maggot head flashlight thing for. Okay, if you're using OBS Studio, then you can simply hit the start record button after you hit the start streaming button. You could even set them both to one hotkey. Oh, so you can actually use both. I thought you had to pick one or the other. So you can stream and record at the same time. I might have to do a test of that. Just like record some random gameplay or something. And just set the stream to like private or unlisted. so that I can just see that it works. Yeah, you would think you had to pick one or the other. Did you want to stream or record today? But that's what I did when I first started trying the live stream stuff. Like, I set it to an unlisted, and then just I had Jonathan pull it up on his like phone or computer just to make sure like we could test the sound, make sure it was running, look at the quality and stuff like that. So just to make sure it was, because I didn't want to like try to start streaming when I first started this and then have everything just crashing and burning. So I had to figure out how to get the settings where I needed to get a consistent like CPU usage where hopefully it wouldn't just burn out on me. Gonna go finish off Iron Keep and Dark Souls 2. All right. Just can't make up your mind. You're like, oh, which one? Which one do I play? All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get to some video editing so I can have Yakuza video ready for tomorrow, and then we got more Dark Souls tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. It'll be 5 p.m. Central Time. So that's what we're gonna do there. All right. And like I said, I think the conversation is winding down just a little bit. Oh, it's holding up Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. Yeah, it was great to see you too, Valkos. Thanks for dropping in. Maybe you can check out the demo that's at the beginning of this. It's like 15 minutes. Like, it's literally very short, but sweet. It's got a lot for that little frame of time. See you later. Thanks for stopping by, Sieg, and I'll see you next time.